is Robert with WTP Sports Dudes here live this morning with the crew. We got our man Parlay Poe of Blitzburg Podcast, also WTP Sports Dudes. How you feeling this morning, my brother?
Well, I can't complain. Ain't nobody gonna listen to me. I'm feeling good. How y'all doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. We also got our man Post Game Podcast, also a part of the WTP Sports Dudes as well. How you feeling this morning post game?
And I feel great. The Midwest is in the building. Good morning. Good morning.
At some point, our man FanDuel Zaya will be joining us. He's working out some of his technical difficulties at the moment. But before we get started, I got to shout out my women softball national champions. Them Texas Longhorns got us another win as a SEC conference team. They might end up winning the Directors Cup this year, which says that this university is the best college sports university of the year. Hopefully they can get that Directors Cup. It'll be the fourth one in 5 years. I'm proud about my Longhorns, but that don't mean I'm hating on nobody else, though. We also got our man FanDuel Zaya of the FanDuel Zaya podcast. Also, WTP Sports Dudes. How you feeling this morning, Zaya?
Man, I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Poe, man, I called the guys yesterday, man. I was about to summon you onto the screen. I'm glad you here, man, because I was about to give you the works this morning anyway. You feel
Oh
me?
man.
Yeah, you was about to get the works, man, because you've been neglecting us. Just like I told Moss, you've been neglecting us. Get
Nah,
your ass on camera, man.
hey,
Get your ass on camera.
school is out. Stuff different now. You know what I mean?
Hey, you need to get your ass on camera, though, Poe.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, you're here now, so welcome to another show. What's happening, college football, our Saturday morning broadcast, brought to you by our sponsors, Super Cat Nano 2820. You can find him on YouTube. Also, KT's Good Eats LLC. My man Kevin Bird and his wife Tammy, they got a wonderful catering business. Hit them up on Instagram at Kevin J Bird. That's Kevin J Bird spelled BYRD. Also, his sister owns a shake and energy tea shop where you can get nutritious shakes and energy teas. The name of that shop is um, Social Nutrition Sips and Good Conversation, 3136 South Hamilton Road. And also our young man who owns his own apparel line. His name is The Chief. That's DECHIEF.5991. You can find him on Instagram and on TikTok. Go check them out. They got some wonderful products for you. Check them out at their respective social media platforms. Fellas, there's been a lot happening in college football as we are less than 88 days away. I think it might be 86 or 85 days away from college football action. I know we're getting more and more excited. Let's talk a little bit about what's going down in the ACC conference with Florida State, Miami, Clemson, North Carolina, and North Carolina State as it pertains to their lawsuits against or lawsuits of being put up against the ACC. Let's tackle this first question. The Florida State lawsuit against the ACC was dismissed in Florida. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Florida State, I think this whole thing was about leverage, man, because they showed that them and Clemson had the most leverage, and a 165 buyout was crazy. I read that. I'm like, 165 million buyout just to go somewhere else. I'm like, so, but they got what they wanted because they dismissed the lawsuit because they got Florida State and Miami, where everybody got what they want. they wanted more, so they did. ACC did give Florida State and Clemson no more, so ain't no thought on that. You know what I'm saying they stand.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was a victory for Florida State and those teams. But one thing though, the buyout 165 million is high, but every year that decreases until you get to 2030, whereas a flat fee or a flat fee of 75 million. But I hope none of the teams in the ACC go anywhere anyway, because I like the ACC and I wanted to stick together. But I mean, they got more of the revenue sharing, so I feel like it was a victory for those programs.
I think it's a win-win situation for both, for the ACC and for the programs. Honestly, so the tricky thing is the media rights contracts for the SEC and the Big Ten is up in 2030 and 2031. So really, it's like the SEC was playing with house money right here, and these programs got more money as well. So I feel like they both leaving themselves wiggle room. With the media rights in the SEC and the Big Ten being up in 2030 and 2031, um, I think everybody can go back to the table, to the drawing board at that time. If them schools decide they want to lead a conference, and 75 million is a lot of money. It'll be 75 million at that time. That's a lot of money. Like, where is this money coming from in the first place? But the ACC will probably, if somebody decided to leave, I think the ACC will probably be able to go out and scrap some of them Big 12 teams. Whoever the top two or four teams. It depends on how many leave, but it's kind of crazy, bro. Like, these media rights deals is what's really causing realignment, bro. If you think about it, these media rights deals, because that's the money that's coming into the programs. But they said that Florida State and Clemson got 40% more money than originally that they had. So I mean, the breakdown is going to be 40%. So I mean, we're gonna have to wait to see for real, honestly, how this is all gonna shake out, because like I said, in 2030 and 31, once them media rights deals for the Big Ten and the SEC, Big Ten and the SEC come down, I think you're gonna see some more movement. I think some of them schools is gonna leave the ACC, honestly.
Well, the ACC had one of the
Oh,
worst media rights packages before all this lawsuit stuff came. So of course, Florida State, Miami, the new Clemson, the new and the two North Carolina teams, they got some benefit from this whole lawsuit thing. I hope that at some point they can get this thing corrected and they can become valuable to different networks so that they can continue to generate that kind of money. But if they don't, and they can't, because the Big Ten and the SEC is making mad noise out there, and the media rights are going to be coming their way more so than any other conference, then they're going to have to make some moves. Talking about Florida State, Clemson, Miami, the two North Carolina schools, and anybody else in the ACC that might need to get up out of there. I know when Texas and Oklahoma was trying to get to the SEC, it was it was a high price, but it wasn't 165 million high. So they're gonna have to try to wait this thing out for another maybe 4 or 5 years and try to get themselves in a better position to be able to meet that kind of money demand to make it to a big conference like the SEC or Big Ten to get more media rights, because they might end up falling off in the media market. Clemson's lawsuit against the ACC was also dismissed in South Carolina. Was it because of the change in the revenue sharing for the bigger share of the revenue pie?
The bigger share of the revenue pie, because Clemson in football They practically running the AC. If Clemson went Florida State would have left, man, that conference would have went down the drain. So that's why they put that big 165 on there, I think. But other than that, I think it was for revenue sharing, the bigger piece of that pie. You said 40%. They got
Yeah.
40% of it. So
Mhm.
that's what they was looking for. Bigger share of the revenue.
Yeah, and deservingly so. I think Clemson, as you said, runs the ACC pretty much, and I really like their chances to make the playoffs this season. So, like we always say, follow the money. They got what they wanted, and they should be one of the contending teams this season.
Well, I don't think we account for the basketball side of things. That's why North Carolina was in the lawsuit as well. But I mean, the football side. So Clemson, yeah, they run it, but the brand is really Florida State. We gotta understand the brand is Florida State. This whole lawsuit started for Florida because of Florida State. Really, people threw their names in the hat when they seen Florida State was throwing out the lawsuit. But if you really did your homework, nobody else is saying nothing. North Carolina not saying nothing. Clemson not saying nothing. And Miami not saying nothing. Really, the loudmouth is Florida State. Everybody else was just like, hey, listen, if they gonna get some more money, we need some more money too. But we're gonna let them handle all of it. You have heard nothing from these other programs. Um, Florida State been doing all the legwork for all these teams. But watch what I tell y'all. But 2 out of these 4 teams is leaving the ACC. It's I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable. Like the 75 million. What did Florida State pay Jimbo Fisher? What was his buyout? It was close to 75 million.
That was
Yeah, it was
Texas
something like that.
A&M. Texas
It was
A&M or Florida State.
it was Texas A&M. How,
Yeah,
how much did they pay?
75.
75.
Yeah.
So they paid the coach that. You can't tell me Florida State ain't got 75 million to exit that conference. You know what I'm saying? And what's going to be a telltale sign is what the ACC is really trying to do. They're trying to line up their media rights deals with the SEC and the Big Ten, because they felt like they lost out on money because their deal is not on the same time frame as theirs. So everybody need to go to the table at one time. That's what they're trying to line themselves up in position to do. So they plan it like, all right, this is a way we got to go about it, because if we got to lose two or three of these programs, they feel confident that even if they lost them, they can go out and get somebody else to replace them. I'm not sure that they can. But you still got teams in the Big 12 that I feel like will fit that conference, like Texas Tech. You can go get SMU. I feel like in that conference will still be the same thing, because that Texas money is just different. You know what I'm saying? That Texas money is different.
It is. But why would you want to leave a conference if you got 2 guaranteed spots? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be always Clemson always going to be either 1 or 2 unless something drastic happen and Debo leave. You know what I mean? But if you want to leave that conference, you guaranteed a spot in the CFP playoffs. Come on, man. I don't understand that one though.
I think the sport is just so volatile on the football side that nobody know if it's going to push towards 2 super conferences or not. So you got to get your spot while you can, if you can. You know what I'm saying?
But Clemson always going to have a spot. They can come to the SEC or the Big Ten. I'm telling you that they'll welcome that. Both of them conferences welcome that, because Clemson's a big name in football. I ain't say about basketball. In football, Clemson is a big name.
Hey, Poe, I agree. We could think it's simple though, but once these conferences, if they move north of 24 teams, it ain't that simple no more.
Let's. I want to talk a little bit about this point that Parlay Poe just made about them 2 teams staying in the ACC, and they almost have a guaranteed to probably make it to the freaking college football playoffs once it go to 16 teams every year. Why would you want to go to the Big Ten and the freaking SEC and have to compete with those guys to get in the college football playoffs when you automatically know if I stay in the ACC with these group of guys, I can get in this sucker every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah, if I'm a big fish in a small pond, I want to stay in a small pond. So if I'm Clemson, I'm not looking to make no moves.
And that's why I tell y'all just thinking about the football side. As an athletic director, you got to think about all your sports. You have to think about all your sports.
You do, but they ain't making more money than the football team, just like Ohio.st.
That's
Ain't
true.
nobody making more money than the Buckeyes football team.
Football bring in more money, period,
Right.
regardless.
That's what I'm saying. And then their football program can play for everything else. That's what's been happening for years.
But Poe, would you think like Clemson don't have a mindset as like we just as good as these other programs? Why would we duck the wreck? You know what I mean? Why duck the wreck?
No, because I don't think Dabo want that. He just got in the portal this year. Dabo wasn't even using the portal. You know what I mean? So he just got in the portal this year. So it ain't about duck and wreck. They know they can compete, but why would you want to go out there and play a SEC team that's on the back end and probably get upset? You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
They already scheduling SEC though. They got LSU and South Carolina. They ain't scared of the SEC.
They ain't. But look, that's a gruesome schedule. Every week playing one of them dudes. You know what I mean? Every week you playing Auburn, then back to back you playing Alabama. Then next thing you know, you playing Texas. Come on, man. That's way gruesome than that sorry ACC.
Hey, this is the Pandora box we opened though.
I mean, they might be looking at it like, listen, we ain't ducking no records. We're going to get the wreck when we get to this college football playoff. But our goal is to make sure we get there first. Yeah. And stay in this freaking whack-ass ACC and make sure we get there every single year. Then we'll come to see y'all. And that's a good pitch to recruits because recruits is probably thinking, listen, they're going to be on the biggest stage every single year. Maybe I should go here to Clemson. It's an easy path to be seen on national TV, playing against the big boys in the college football playoffs every year. I think they got a really, really nice setup, man. If they stay in the ACC, even though I believe it's going to become two super conferences at some point, but with that thought right there, they might be like, nah, I'm holding out on that. I ain't trying to go no two super conferences. I'm trying to go ahead and stay over here in the ACC and do my thing. And the Big 12 was probably saying the same thing. Especially if they're a juggernaut in the Big 12. Now, the Big 12 has a lot of parity in it. They're not like top-heavy like the ACC, though. Let's tackle this next question. The two North Carolina schools were sued by the ACC. That was all dismissed, and the ACC being is the ACC being fair with their enormous $165 million exit fee. It will be $165 million in 2026. Is that a fair number, or is that just to put an astronomical number out there to say, listen, you stand, you ain't going nowhere?
Yeah, that's just a number they threw out there to saying they stand because, like you said, now with the two North Carolina schools, we talking basketball with them. You know what I mean? Well, since Belichick got to North Carolina, we got to see what he gonna do. But we talking basketball with the two North Carolina schools. You know what I mean? So that ain't fair. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, they just doing my bad. They just doing whatever they gotta do to keep their conference together. 165 million. How many pennies is that? But it does the number does decrease every year. It's still a lot of money, but I don't know if it's fair or not. But I do know it's a lot of money. And again, it decreases every year till we get to 2030, where it goes down to 75 million. That'd be a flat fee. So they just doing whatever they can to keep the conference intact. I understand it. I don't know if any of those teams are dying to leave the ACC, especially what Poe said, especially in basketball. But they just trying to keep their conference together at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's fair. To leave next year, man, that's like you have to piece your conference together super fast if you lost 2 to 4 schools, especially the North Carolina schools. Um, I think 2030, bro. It always come back to the rights deals for the Big Ten or SEC for me though. So um, I think they'll be able to do some homework, study within the next 4 years because I think it's inevitable that somebody is leaving.
Yeah, I mean, the ACC is smart. I mean, you don't want people leaving, so you might as well do whatever you got to do to keep them there. And I think that 165 million in 2026 is going to keep them for at least until they go down to 75 million. I don't think anybody wants to make that move before then anyway. So I think it's I think it's fair because I mean they got every right to keep the teams that they got. Let's switch over to this Pac-12 and the fact that the Pac-12 has added 5 schools: Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, Colorado. That should be state, not Stan, and Utah State. Was those good choices or not?
Well, that was the best choices they could make at this point. So the Pac-12 this year is only a 2-team conference, right?
Yeah,
So adding them schools, I'm saying I ain't gonna say the best available, but they working. They working, you know what I mean? Like Fresno State, and they all by each other too. So it ain't gonna be no heavy traveling. So yeah, I think it was the best. I think the best they could do right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm a big fan of playing geographical football. So I think that was the best move and probably the only moves they could have made right now. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah, great moves. I mean, yeah, they're not gonna. This is not gonna be a Power Five conference or nothing, But I don't think it's gonna be like the MAC or something. It's not gonna be that level of football. It's gonna be somewhere in between. Um, the word on the street is that UC Davis, Sacramento State, Memphis, and Tulane is next. So we'll see how it all formulates. I think that's going to be a good conference, though. As far it's not going to be one of the powers, like I said, but I think it's going to be a real competitive conference with those schools currently constructed and adding the right next guys. I think once they complete it all, I think it's going to turn out to be definitely a little above like a non-power five conference. So good moves. I like it on the basketball side more though.
Yeah. So do they get an automatic bid or no?
Oh no, they're not getting no automatic bid, bro.
Now, well, when they go into 2026, though, they'll be a part of the group of 5, and they could possibly, if one of their teams is the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion, then they could in 2026 though.
Yeah, I think we're gonna revisit this whole college football playoff again, this whole setup again, because that's not a worthy conference to get a team in at all. It's not worthy enough.
Well, I don't know if they're going to revisit it before 2026. Now they're going to revisit it after that because what they're doing right
Yeah,
now is to
you know what I
prepare
mean.
for 2026 year.
Yeah.
FanDuel, you mentioned a couple of teams that they're going to go after next. Are there any other conferences or teams that they should look to add into the Pac-12 outside of those ones that Zay already mentioned?
Nah, I'm saying if it ain't regional, it don't make sense. You know what I mean? If it ain't regional, it don't make sense. So the FanDuel said that makes sense, but trying to go all the way over to try to get somebody on the in the Midwest or on the East Coast, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, I agree. It's regional, geographical. I'm a fan of that kind of conference play and just adding those type of teams. I'm not a big fan of all the travel. You traveling from Nevada or California to New York, North Carolina. I like to keep it regional. Best teams come out of each region and meet up in the playoffs, and let's see who run it.
Yeah, two schools I think they need to take a strong look at, UNLV and Hawaii. Yeah, you need to go look at them schools, and I think them schools make sense in that conference as well.
Yeah, I mean these schools are not powerhouses, but they play some good football. At least at North Dakota State, they play some really good football. I like to see them go get both of the Dakota schools and Wyoming. I like to see them. They all out there on that West Coast. I would like to see them go and maybe add those teams. I think their goal should be to at least get beyond 12 teams, get as close to 16 to 18 as they can get. And they might have to just add some of those teams like that in order to get to that number. So I think they should definitely look at those teams as well.
So them was Mountain West schools, right?
Yeah, the
Well,
ones they got now, those Mountain West,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I agree with UNLV too. They should have probably tried to get UNLV right off the rip.
Yeah, they should try that first. I forgot about UNLV. But UNLV in the conference that they won, right?
Boise State ended up beating them. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
yeah.
but it's a level up though. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
think it's really a level up still. Small level, but it's a level nevertheless.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think what those teams have proven, man, the ones who have gotten good college football coaches, they've been able to get the most out of players who are on that bottom or that lower echelon, man, and got the best out of those guys. Now, of course, they're not going to go beat the big boys, but they're going to be they can be competitive in the league that they're in with the Washington States and the Oregon States of the world. I think they can be competitive with them because the Oregon States and the Washington States are not able to beat the big boys either. So I think
Yeah.
they could do that. Will they be in a conference in 2026 and beyond? Will there? It should be will there. Will there be? No, I'm looking at this all wrong. Will they be the conference in 2026 and beyond with a team that gets into the one spot of the five automatic bids? So what I'm asking is, do you think that this conference, this new Pac-12, will probably have that one group of five team that represents the group of five teams in the college football playoffs every year? Do you think somebody from the Mountain West or any of the MAC or any of those other schools can get in to the college football playoffs? Or you think only this Pac-12 team is going to present one because they're going to be that good?
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
And
Like you said, like the power that power five. Like if they don't get no better, man. Them schools will be a mismatch for somebody, man. So I don't think so.
yeah, with the
Definitely
current.
don't think the Mac.
Go ahead,
I
Post.
was
I'm
just gonna
sorry.
say I no, I was just gonna say I definitely don't think the Mac would get in. That's for sure. It would have to be something that we haven't saw before as far as their performance on the field. One of those teams to jump the other conferences and the teams in the conferences to get in.
Yeah, listen. This is an at-large conference at best. They can get an at-large bid. They should not have an automatic qualifier because there's no program in this conference football wise that is notoriously good. It's just not there.
FanDuel brought up something that I think we should talk about a little bit. Should the group of six, because it's group of six now, should they even get an automatic qualifier?
Well, that's what I asked y'all. Like,
I don't think so. I don't
anyway,
think they should get an automatic.
not with the previous the playoff games. No,
Like
you
the
know,
Big Ten and the SEC is too deep, in my opinion, for them to get an automatic bid. Like I would rather see one of those Big Ten or SEC teams, just hovering right towards the top 9-3 ish to get the nod over a team from that situation.
Yeah, I would rather even see if it's not a Big Ten or SEC team. I'd rather have a third place ACC team or a third place Big 12 team get in over them. Now, of course, Boise State is over there with them, and they're the one who got in last year. Can Boise State continue that trend and be that team that continues to get in and year out over Washington State or Oregon State? Because I'm thinking that's probably what Oregon State and Washington State's mindset is now. Listen, if we get this conference form, we get a chance to get one of those automatic bids, one of us cream puffs over here, and they probably figuring, let's go ahead and get this conference built up so that we can be the one getting one of those automatic bids every year to make our destinations a good spot for some guys to want to come to.
Man, I think they deserve a bid still, man. I'm one of them ones that you gotta throw because listen, any given year, it's only really 5 or 6 teams that can actually win the national championship. So the last 6 teams, or if we move to 16, the last 10 teams, you playing with house money, man. Throw the little boy, throw the little puppy in there, man. Give him a chance, bro. Give him a chance. I just like the chance that it I guess makes it look like it's a chance. It's really, we know they're gonna get tossed around and beat on, but I think it's always gonna be 1 year, maybe out of a decade, where that non-power school is gonna be able to compete, and that 1 year is good enough for me. It's good enough for me, and really, if you make that school play the number 1 seed, that's like they play in game anyway. Like if they can upset the number 1 seed, then we know they belong, but we expect them to get torched anyway. You know what I'm saying? So keep them in there, man. That's the product of actually playing the regular season for the number 1 seed. You get the worst team in the playoff.
I think this is a good statement by KT. He says some of them Big Ten teams and SEC teams don't need to be in those conferences. So I think they should all get a bid. They should get a bid because I mean, just look at the bottom of those two conferences, man. I mean, I'm quite sure Oregon State can come over there and beat up on a Mississippi State or Vanderbilt or Northwestern or Purdue. So I mean that's a really valid point, man.
Hey, no, man. Stay in the SEC, man. Don't talk about my Purdue's and Northwesterns, man.
I'm gonna try not to, but it's too late now.
yeah,
Does he have a good point there though?
Nah, that's a fact.
Yeah, that is a fact. Good point
Yeah,
there.
he got a great point. Excellent.
You need a couple cream puffs in your conference, though, man. You need a couple cream puffs.
I mean,
every game can't be tough.
Yeah, it's inevitable. You gotta have some doormats for sure. Let's switch pace again and go into our last segment of our what's happening college football show. Let's talk about week 2. Last week we talked about week 1 in college football and some of the matchups. This week let's talk about week 2, and every week we'll go and talk about the weeks all the way up leading into the season on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. So if you're out there watching, please hit the like button, subscribe, share our videos, and let the people know we're doing some good stuff over here at WTP Sports Dudes, Blitzburg, FanDuzel Podcast, and Postgame Podcast. Iowa and Iowa State. Iowa at Iowa State. Iowa State opens the season with 2 major games Kansas State and then Iowa. Can they afford to go 0-2?
Nope.
Nope.
But they with two unless they win the rest of their games. You know what I mean? But Iowa State, they return Rocco coming back, right?
Yep,
Uh
back.
yeah, Rocco coming back. So they got two receivers. They got two receivers and a running back, but I don't know what they returning on defense. But I know Iowa, like their top 9 or 10 tacklers is back. You know what I mean? So Iowa already stout on defense. So and this is an in-state rivalry. So this gonna be a good game. This might be must see TV.
Yeah, don't let Iowa beat them boys, man. Cause it's gonna make the Big 12 look bad. You know, I got Iowa finishing 6th in the Big 10. I think that's gonna be a good team though. But I think they could afford to lose both games and still lose one more game and still make it to the Big 12 championship game. Like, well, it's not crazy to think that a 2-loss Big 12 team couldn't make it to the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't try. I mean, of course they wouldn't try, but I definitely would try to avoid going 0-2 to start a season, especially
Yeah.
if I have playoff aspirations. But it all depends on if I go 0-2 and I'm Iowa State, it all depends on how my conference shakes up. Because that's one of the conferences where it could be really tough for them, or we don't know. It's some teams that could fall off. So I wouldn't bet on starting 0-2 and finishing strong. I think that's too much. They at least got to split that schedule with K-State and Iowa. They got to be 1-1.
Yeah, I think they got to either split or go 2-0. Going 0-2 in that conference, and you still got a couple of strong games that you still have to play. Um, you might be looking at yourself as the spoiler in the conference as opposed to a contender at that point, man. So I'm hoping that they can at least split or go 2-0 so that they can be one of the top teams. They got really good coaching though, so they might be able to do that, and they got a good quarterback, so they can right the ship if they do go 0-2. But I think it's a much tougher hill to climb psychologically going 0-2.
Yeah.
We also got Ole Miss at Kentucky in week 2. Kentucky upset Ole Miss last year. Can they do it again at home?
I don't know, man. Kentucky, it's like they starting all over. They lost the second most people in the portal, didn't they? Like 30 people or something like that. Like so so I don't think they're going to beat Ole Miss at home because they got to start there. It's like they starting their whole program over again. But you got to think Ole Miss is coming in with a new quarterback, but dude did play a little bit last year, the Austin kid. So I'm gonna go Ole Miss with this.
Yeah, I gotta favor Mississippi myself. Kentucky did lose a lot. I don't see them being that much of a threat this season, but hey, they could surprise us. So I got Mississippi, and I don't think Kentucky would be much of a factor this season. They might get lucky and get 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah, Kentucky's gonna be trash again. They had an all-world defense last year. But they're gonna be right back at the bottom of the barrel in the SEC, man. It ain't no point to talk about this. Lane Kiffin is a good coach. I don't think he's gonna lose this game, man. Hey, that's it. Kentucky's trash, bro. They're trash. That's the bottom of the barrel, the SEC for real. I don't even know why Kentucky is in that conference either, though. To mention that
Basketball.
Basketball, yeah, basketball.
yeah, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad all three of y'all are saying how trash Kentucky is because they play my Longhorns, and I'm gonna try to go to that game in Lexington. So that could be a nice game for me to go to and stick my chest out.
Yeah, you know what I
You
mean?
know, stick
Like
my
a
chest out.
win.
Like what? What?
Come back with a dub, easy.
Right. I wish that they could be good, man, but they lost a lot in the portal, and they lost some really good dudes to the NFL draft too. So
Facts.
I don't think they're going to be any good. And Ole Miss, even though they lost some things too, I think they're good enough to go and beat Kentucky in Kentucky. Even though Kentucky's going to be riding high off that victory they had last year, I don't think they'll get the win. We also got Oklahoma State trying to rebound from last year's debacle at Oregon. Is this going to be a blowout?
Blowout city. They're gonna run it. They're gonna run them off the gridiron. Is Moore starting for Oregon?
Yeah, he got to start, man. Evan
Yeah.
Stewart got hurt. He might be out for the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm still up in the air on Moore anyway. But yeah, this is gonna
Oh,
be a
he
blowout.
nice.
I
Hey,
know
Poe.
he's nice, but I'm saying for him to sit out a whole year and didn't play though. Come on, man. He young, man.
You talking about the quarterback or
Oh,
you talking about the wide receiver?
I'm talking about the QB.
I
Yeah.
thought you was talking about the receiver. Okay.
No, I'm talking about the QB that left UCLA.
Mm.
Yeah, like everybody thought he was gonna come home. He from Michigan. Everybody thought he was gonna come home to Michigan or either Michigan State, but he sat behind Dylan. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you
this
talking about Dante Moore, right?
Dante Moore. Yeah. So this is gonna be a
Bro,
blowout city. They just gonna beat them. They could beat them. Oregon could beat them with their defense because Oklahoma State have nothing doing. You wasted that. They don't have nothing doing. So, shh.
absolutely, man. Hey, and I'm kind of disappointed in the Midwest teams for letting Dante Moore lead the Midwest. I believe in that kid. I think he got all the talent in the world. I think Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, all those Midwest teams, y'all should have kept, somebody should have found a way to keep Dante Moore in the Midwest. Because from what I hear, his father was shopping him around trying to get paid. I don't
Yeah,
know how true that is, but that's what I hear.
that's true.
But
Because
uh
he wanted 2 million from Michigan. We was like, nah, we cool. But
geez. But as far as the game, I think they gonna just take him out to the shed. There's nothing to see there.
yeah,
Yeah, they gonna beat them like they stole something. I ain't no believer in Dante Moore though. Post game, um, I mean he got talent. I gotta see him put it together, man. That UCLA year is got a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be a blowout, even though, they might have lost Evan Stewart for the season, which, man, I hate to hear that because he went out late in the season last year, and him being such a great receiver coming out of high school, um, a player that Texas was high on, thought they would get, and he ended up going to Texas A&M, which I understood that because Texas wasn't quite where they needed to be. But then he had a second chance to go to Texas and chose Oregon in that bag. I hope he can get back, but he'll probably be gone for the season. And I think Oregon is still going to be hands above Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State is probably one of those programs that's going to probably be at the bottom of the Big 12 again this year. I don't know how well their coaching is going to be now that they don't have Gundy. And I don't even know if they're going to have a lot of recruits because I think some guys bailed out of there as well into the portal.
yeah.
We got Boston College at Miami in that second week as well. Could this be an upset alert game? KT,
For
I hope
who?
you're out there. Upset alert for Miami. He
Man,
said for who? But
yeah,
KT, he said for who?
man. Listen, hey, I don't care what y'all say, man. Dude, don't get that defense together at Miami. It's going to be crazy, man. last year that defense upset me, and I don't even like Miami. I was like, man, they can't all their talent out there, they can't be like that. Dudes can't tackle or nothing. But I don't think it'd be an upset alert because Boston College quarterback is playing for Florida State. So I don't think it'd be an upset alert. Miami probably big in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miami should dominate this game, especially being at home. I'm not a believer in Boston College. Years ago, maybe when they had solid teams, they was upsetting teams a lot, but they lost their quarterback. The quarterback they got doesn't have much experience. I forget his name, but he did flash a couple times, but I don't think Boston College isn't going to do anything with Miami. I do like you talk about Miami's defense. I do like Big Justin Scott out of Illinois. He should break out this season. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, no bad.
My
Oh,
bad.
keep on messing. No bad.
Hey man, listen, man. I'm sorry, KT. Yeah, y'all on upset alert. I am a believer in Bill O'Brien. I think he's going. He can listen. He got a full year in last year. He got a little more of his guys in there. He hit the portal a decent way. And post game said, I seen some flashes from that quarterback, bro, last year. I seen some flashes from him when he came in and spelled Castellano. So man, listen, it's the first game of the season. I feel like this is the game where anything can happen. That first week, anything can happen. So yeah, they Miami better come to play. I'll tell you that they better come to play.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout as well. I don't know if Boston College is quite ready to play at that level. I think Miami's defense will be better than it was last year, and I think their offense will be as just as good as it was last year. Um, Not thinking that Carson Beck is as good as Cam Ward in that system, but I think there'll be a really good offense. I hope if it is a blowout, I just hope I get to see our former student TJ Green, who plays for Boston College. He might be playing as a true freshman. I had to look more into it and see what he's been doing out there. But hopefully he'll be playing special teams at least, or if they're getting blown out, he gets some rec at one of those defensive back positions, or maybe even the wide receiver position, because he's really good at both of those positions and on special teams as well. So hopefully I'll get to see him play in that game. So I'll be watching closely to see if I can catch a glimpse of him. And for those of you who don't know, uh, the Greens that we grew up with in the Terriers, Regina Green, Shannon Green, all them,
Yeah.
that's their her grandson and then their nephew.
Okay. So is Carson back? Is he totally healthy now? Or what?
Yeah, he been throwing,
Okay.
but in practice he not throwing. He just doing his throw. He's doing his throwing like not in practice. He doing it on his own time. They ain't really got him doing too much throwing in practice though. They just going through the motions.
Yeah, which makes it, man, it's I don't know, because the surgery he had, man, is a tough surgery, man.
Yeah.
It's a baseball surgery, bro. That's tough, man. Now, of course, you ain't throwing like a baseball player, but
Yeah.
at the same time, if they need you to really throw that football in a game where you got to throw a whole lot like Cam Ward had to do to stay in some of them games because that defense was so horrible,
Yeah.
you might not be able to do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully they got a good run game to go with it.
That's a different cup, Zay.
Man,
Ain't
nah,
that
it
same-
ain't. It's too early
that
for that,
cup is-
Paul.
I'm
It's
about to
too-
say they ain't that cup, man.
Man, it's too early for that, Paul. Man, chill. I gotta
Hey.
go to my best friend birthday, my best friend's son birthday party today. I'm gonna hit the grill for him. You know what I mean? So he can
Okay,
do what
but
he
I'm
do.
just asking, was that same cup? It can't be that
Nope.
same cup.
Nah, it ain't the
Okay.
same cup,
It
man.
ain't.
The infamous cups. The last game I had on this week 2 slate, and this is the last question of the day, unless we got some more things we want to talk about. Michigan at Oklahoma. Thoughts on this game, and will the winner be looked at as a contender in their conference?
Oh, for sure. We better lock them up. They ain't playing with. They don't got no receivers, man. They mess with Portal and freshmen. So Hill better go out there and do his thing, man. We better lock them up. Wink Mardell better dial up some pressure. You know what I mean? Like, and then we got the one Justin Hayes. We got the Justin Hayes and Marshall running the ball. We gonna run the ball down their throat. We about to be Michigan. I can see us being Michigan this game.
Yeah, Poe, I really like y'all defense. I'm hearing a lot of good things about the Michigan defense, even though y'all lost those two big old monsters in the middle.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you because I think we talked a little bit about Michigan the other day or a few streams back. What's your take on y'all quarterback competition?
Uh, right now they saying Bryce looking good, but they said that the Jordan Davis, which he should have played last year,
Facts.
his mom and them didn't let him play. Like, I don't understand why they wanted him to sit out the whole year. I'm like, why? I'm like, he in competition to be a starter. And now that we got to do 13 million, dude, whatever, 10, 13 million, I'm talking about he coming in, even if he do win out, the media and everybody around want Bryce Underwood to be the starter. You know what I mean? And then we got to do from Fresno State, Mikey Keenan. He can throw the rock, but he been hurt. So I don't know what he looking like because he ain't been he ain't gonna be ready until the fall. But right now it's Underwood.
Hey, listen, man. Oklahoma about to pop y'all.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
You want to bet that 100? Bet that 100?
I don't want to bet on it. No.
Okay.
I don't want to bet that 100 on that one. But hey, hey, listen, I'm just saying, like, only thing they needed last year was a quarterback. You know,
they lost all the receivers. What you talking about?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
They lost all the receivers and they lost them two big linemen, went to the NFL. What you talking about?
Hey, listen, they got some recruits though. Them dudes that they got starting this year, they were highly recruited. They're unproven. We're gonna see who pop. They're unproven, but this is the only thing I'm saying, Paul. Y'all didn't suspend Sharon Moore for this game, and it don't matter. Now y'all gonna be competitive in the Big Ten. I got y'all finishing in the top 5 in the Big Ten. I think OU is gonna be able to compete in the SEC. I think if they can beat Texas, now that's a big if, but if they can beat Texas, I think they're gonna finish in the top 4 in the SEC. It's gonna come down to that game for me though. But that defense, bro, is just as good as the defense as y'all's. And I think
don't do that.
Listen, hold on.
Don't do that.
Hold on, Paul.
Don't do that.
I think it's just as good as y'all's.
Don't do that.
I think the winner of this game only got to score 17 points. That's it.
Listen,
the winner of this game is going to score 17 points.
Watch the best defensive line in college football.
Man, no, it's
Trust
not.
me.
Texas got that on Smash.
This is the best defensive line in college football. Trust me,
bro. Texas got the best defensive line.
Trust me. We had it last year, and we're gonna have it this year. Watch.
All right.
See, it is something in that cup.
Just make sure it ain't the same cup. It ain't the same cup.
Yeah, it is. It ain't the same cup, but it's the same materials in that cup. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's something in that cup, man.
Man, just make sure you got my money ready in December, man.
Listen, I told you I want mines in all one. I might want rolled up quarters now. I might want rolled up quarters. You know what I mean? Like,
oh man, that is
it's going down.
Did you speak on this game yet, post game?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the games I'm looking forward to seeing. I think the winner is definitely in a good position in their respective conferences to be a force this year. Michigan is a wild card. Oklahoma is a wild card. We'll see if they can replace the loss of the receivers. So yeah, it's a big game. I don't know if you want me to pick a winner. Man, that's rough. I'm a lean Michigan only because I like what I hear about their defense coming into the season. But Oklahoma could very well win this game.
Yeah, my thing is I think Michigan's going to be able to run the football and play really good defense. That's a recipe for victories in games like this. And the fact that Mateer had better wide receivers at Washington State than he's going to have at Oklahoma really sort of might maybe even nullifies their offensive pass game, man, because he really doesn't have the receivers he's going to need to be real successful, at least not in the beginning of the season. Maybe eventually mid-season they'll catch stride and those guys will be on the same page. But I think the fact that Michigan is going to focus on the run, which we know that's going to be their key early in the season anyway, until they get these quarterbacks up to speed. I think that Michigan can win this game, and I think that they can be a contender because I think they're well coached. If they can block out this noise from what they have to deal with the situation, but they've been blocking it out. They've been having to block it out for 3 years now. So I think they'll be good in that area. I'm going to pick Michigan to win because they know where in hell I'm picking Oklahoma.
You gotta get out of that, man.
Why?
Because it's clear bias, bro. It's clear bias.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's cool with me. They're doing the same thing to us. But that's all I had on the slate, man. I'm glad y'all was able to make it. If y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about, we can. If not, we can go ahead and wrap up the show.
Yeah, we gotta tap into one more game, guys. We gotta tap into Illinois and Duke.
Okay, I got something
because that game is going to have playoff implications, and I listen. That I think Duke could win that game possibly. It's at home, so I really don't know who's going to win that game, honestly.
Ooh, this is a good question after this one, Zay. Who's Duke's quarterback?
They got the kid from Tulane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they got somebody back there. He a baller.
Yeah, he definitely a baller.
Illinois is returning a lot of players, man. I don't see Illinois losing. Is it and it's in Illinois, right?
No, it's at Duke.
That might make it.
I don't see Illinois losing, man.
I don't think they're gonna lose to Duke.
I don't see that Illinois losing.
I mean, Illinois, they got 4 games on that schedule. And then they all come in the first 6 weeks. It's Duke, Indiana, USC, and Ohio.st. They got to go 3 out of 4.
Look, man, I get what you're saying with Duke and the QB from Tulane. Duke could surprise us. I'm with you on that, but man, I really like that Illinois team, the players they bring back, and I think they could finish in the top 3 or 4 in a Big Ten. I'm gonna get an edge to Illinois in that game.
Yeah, I think they're veteran. They're a veteran team. I think they can go in and win that game in Duke. KT wants to know, out of everybody's schedule, which team you fear the most on your schedule?
I don't fear nobody, but
I'm saying I'm just telling you what team I'm looking forward to play. USC at USC. You know what I mean? Like Lincoln Riley always got a good offense, but his defense terrible. But they got a new defensive coordinator. Everybody else, we wiping our shoe with them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody
okay.
Else, we wiping our shoe with everybody else. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you.
I hear you, Poe. You talking real big.
Yeah, super strong.
I see 4 losses on y'all schedule, though.
We only got Penn State this year.
I see 4 losses on y'all schedule.
It ain't coming November 29th, I tell you that.
It is. That's one of them.
Yeah. It ain't coming November 29th, I'm telling you that.
Hey, Paul, y'all gonna lose the Washington and USC this year.
Man, we're gonna beat the mess out of Washington.
Okay.
Uh, I for me, I the game I fear the most for Notre Dame's schedule is not going to be the marquee matchup, the big matchups to begin the season. It's going to be a team like Boise State or Arkansas. The reason why I say this is because Marcus Freeman, especially when the opposing head coach is black, has a tendency during his tenure to lose to a team we have no business losing to. So until he proves me different, I'm going to say Boise State scares me the most.
It got to be going to the swamp to play Florida for me. Texas going
Yeah.
to the swamp to play them. Um, that's going to be a pretty scary game, man. I'll probably be on the edge of my seat. I think Texas will be prepared for Georgia uh, and their conference rivals. But that Florida game, man, got me on the edge of my seat right now. Especially if DJ Lagway is completely
Yeah.
healthy the whole
Oh,
season up to that game.
yeah, he's special.
That's gonna be a tough one.
Y'all
Even
play
though I heard
Grambling.
the defense is horrible. I heard the
Yeah,
defense is probably gonna be horrible this year.
yeah. Y'all play Grambling State and OU back to back.
So we played Texas game 1. What are you
Oh
talking
my
about?
god.
Look
Oh
at y'all
my
2 out of
god.
3 non-conference games.
Oh my
Want to hear
god.
that? Hey, mine's
Y'all might
man.
as well come. Y'all might as well coming back into school and play us next.
Man, stop it,
Man,
man.
come on, man.
Man, stop it, man.
Cupcake City.
Y'all schedule look just like ours. I don't
No,
want to hear that.
no,
I do
nobody's
not want.
schedule look like y'all.
Hey, y'all
Man,
schedule look just like ours. I
man.
don't want to hear that.
I was like, geez.
You funny, man. Hey, listen though, man. Mine's is Wisconsin, bro. We got to go to Wisconsin. I think that's a trap game because we play Illinois the week before, and then we play Penn State the week after. So I could see my team just like not coming out to play that game and them hanging around and making it close. You know,
So what about the week before y'all play Wisconsin?
we play Illinois. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's a trap game. We're
Okay.
gonna blow Illinois out, bro. But
And
we're
then
gonna
after Wisconsin, y'all
gonna
got
show
Penn
up to
State.
that game. I don't necessarily think we're gonna all the way show up for Wisconsin because we expect the dumpster rump them. You feel dumpster juice them. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could let down a little bit, just like how the Nebraska game was last year. You feel me? We did not show up to play Nebraska last year. So I mean that's my one game. But just to mention too, Poe, y'all play Central Michigan. You know,
Yeah.
y'all
They-
play Central Michigan and y'all
They
play
better
New
than
Mexico.
OU and Grambling.
Hey, so I'm just saying y'all schedule look just like ours.
No, we don't.
Yes,
Don't
it does.
compare that, man. Y'all love playing them teams like that.
Nothing better than to have Ohio State and Michigan fan on the channel going back and forth.
What y'all think about my boy? What you think about my boys, eh?
What boy?
A-Rod.
Terrible.
A-Rod.
Trash.
What you
Hey.
think about my boy?
Y'all, hey, listen, Mike Tomlin don't even miss the playoffs. Y'all about to miss the playoffs because y'all signed him.
No, he ain't. Hey, you know
Okay.
what?
All
You
right.
know what? This might. I love Mike, but it might be his last year, man.
This is his last year because
Might
they're
be
gonna
his
be like,
last
"Oh,
year
you
because
signed
it's-
A-Rod."
This quarterback debacle going on. It might be time for Mike, fresh blood in there. We need to get younger. Get one of them Sean McVay dudes or something. You know what I mean? Like,
McVay ain't leaving LA to come to Pittsburgh.
no, I said one of his understudies.
Oh.
Everybody is from Sean McVay that's coaching, man. You know what I mean?
Nah, he got a crazy tree in the NFL.
He do, man. He got a crazy tree. Man.
Man, am I hearing doubt from a Pittsburgh Steelers fan when it
Yes, you
comes to
are.
Mike Tomlin? Oh
Yes.
my
I'm
goodness.
saying he never lost. He never had a losing season, but he ain't won the playoff game in a while. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
stuck
y'all
on.
haven't really been right since Big Ben,
I know Big
lost
Ben
his
had his
fastball.
hostage. He had his hostage.
Yeah.
He had his hostage for not drafting a quarterback, and then we get Landry Jones, and then we get Mason Rudolph. Mason ain't never panned out. He left. Now Mason is back. You know what I mean? Like he had his hostage because he had a whole bunch of dead money, man. You know what I mean? Like if we would cut Ben, that's why we let him stay his last year. If Ben would have stayed last year, man, we would have had something like what they say, like 40 million dead money. You know what I mean? Like that's why we had to let him earn his salary last year. You know what I mean? That last year, Ben couldn't even move his last year, man. He couldn't even move.
Let me. I'll say this. It do feel like it's sort of lining up as a last dance for Tomlin with the moves Pittsburgh is making, but I don't I don't think Aaron Rodgers is that bad of a quarterback because you got to remember last year Rodgers was coming back from a devastating injury. That coaching staff for New York was a mess, and it feel like they just tried to band-aid it all season. This year, I think he'll be much healthier. I like DK Metcalf, and I like y'all tight end. Y'all run game should be better. Y'all defense is getting a little older, but it's still a good defense. And what if I told y'all that Aaron Rodgers had the same amount of touchdown passes as the MVP and Josh Allen last year?
Yeah, see?
Hey, they going 7-10. I don't care about none of that.
Stop it.
7-10.
We ain't never went 7-10 since the Tomlin era.
Y'all going 7-10 next year.
See, now y'all used to them numbers.
Nah,
Buccaneers used to that.
Hey, stop it. Stop.
Y'all
Stop
used to that.
I don't listen. I got more things I can say than what you can. So you got to relax on that.
How can you say more things to me?
What you mean? How many Super Bowls have you seen, Poe?
6.
You is old. I forgot. Hey, I forgot. You an old dude for real. Like
you know what I mean?
Old.
You know what I mean? Like what you talking about, man? Like,
you should have had that question for me.
you know
right.
What I mean?
Nah, he old. I forgot who I was talking to for a second.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be okay at the Steelers because of the organization, man. I mean, he was in New York last year, organization that was in shambles. He's going to a better situation. And even though he's not the Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, he's going to a better situation. They're not going to ask Aaron Rodgers to win games for them. They're going to win it with defense and running the football. And Aaron Rodgers managing games, and I think he can do that.
Aaron Rodgers chokes when he really needs to step up his play, though. This is proven over time. He's not that guy. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks we ever seen. But he is not that guy when the lights shine the brightest, bro. He's not that guy.
But I want you to think about the quarterbacks that they have last year. They had Justin Fields, who started the season off and won on every game I think he played in. And then they had Russell Wilson. Now you take those guys out and you put in Aaron Rodgers. You don't think they can do the same thing? I mean,
I just told you, Aaron Rodgers chokes when the lights is the brightest. I'm trying to tell you. It's going to come a time when he going to have to win the game and he's not going to be able to do it.
You know how many game winners he threw?
I don't want to hear that. He ain't throwing them in the playoffs.
He did too against Dallas 1 year.
1 year. He done been in the league 20 years. This is the LeBron argument. This is the LeBron argument right here. I don't even want to hear it.
I don't follow normal players like that in the NFL. Like, boom, I'm a team dude. You know what I mean? I'm a Stiller. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now Aaron Rodgers is Stiller, so I'm gonna go to bat for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
KT got a question for me. He said, why y'all didn't want to play Ohio State at night in prime time? Well,
they were scared.
No, not at all. Not at all. The reality is we knew how it was going to pan out. We knew Fox was going to get that game at noon. Now, if it would have been a night game to jump with, cool. They want to move this game tonight, Ohio State that is, because they knew they got a better chance of winning at night than they do during the day.
No, that's
come
not
on,
it.
man, come on. Okay, let me ask you this, because you're a Ohio State fan. Would you rather play Texas at night or during the day? Which one gives you a better advantage?
I would rather play all my primetime games at night. The night aesthetic is way better. It
Which
ain't,
means
but,
what?
but we didn't try to move the game because we felt like it would have been a better win. We wanted to move the game because it's a primetime game. That's it. It's a primetime. It's Ohio State and Texas. I don't understand why this game wasn't scheduled at night to begin with, like you said. It should have been.
It will be next year. It will be next year.
It better be. It better be. It ain't no other choice
this year. Next year it'll be at night, but only it'll be in Austin.
Now, what you said is true, though. We definitely would have a higher probability of winning the game if it was at night, though. You know,
y'all playing at noon?
Yeah,
at noon. Yeah,
at Ohio State.
Yeah, we play y'all bums at noon in Michigan.
We always play noon.
Yeah, facts. They need to move that game to 3:32.
That it was like one time it was at 3:30, I think. It was like one time at 3. But y'all want to play at noon in Texas, man. This will be hot as I don't know what.
Yeah, it's gonna be a night game though, but it will be. Oh yeah, we like to bring people down in that Texas heat, for sure. But KT, I think if it would have been a night game to jump with, we would have been cool with it. But we knew that for them to move it to prime time on Sunday night game, we wasn't going to do that to our fans for one, because they had already made arrangements for this game, and for two, I mean, that's the advantage that Ohio State want to try to have. So we weren't trying to do that for them, no.
But y'all getting the advantage because you know y'all gonna play the game at night, right?
Because ESPN gonna have an option in week 2. That's the only reason why.
Man, that's some sucker.
If it was week 1, then Fox could get it again, but it's gonna be in week 2, which gives it to ESPN and ABC. So that's why it's gonna be a night game. Which, I mean, you should be okay with it either way. If y'all good.
I'm good. Hey, I love night games. I just told you that. All primetime games should be at night.
I agree with that too. So hopefully I answered your question, KT. But if y'all don't have anything else, we can go ahead and wrap it up. All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all joining today. And hopefully y'all can enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. And congratulations again to the women's Texas softball team, national champs, I mean. All right, y'all. Peace.
Got it.